folks, and welcome to our Sunday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
And I'm Mikey.
Ooh. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, you know what?
What?
Music videos.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week, and I was like, that's a good idea, Matt. And then we were like, put our heads together, and we were like, why don't we talk about music videos?
Exactly like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the conversation.
You know, there's used to be a thing, and now I really don't know of any music video. I'm sure they still come out, but they don't mean anything.
I feel really bad and sad for the youth of today because they'll never know the wonder of MTV in the 80s.
And waiting for the countdown clock to get to 0 for they to release the newest music video by blank. Yeah.
And actually in the 90s, VH1 in the 90s wasn't so bad either.
Nope.
Pop-up video.
But, oh, man. Good stuff.
It was great.
Good stuff. You'd switch back and forth between them sometimes.
I would bet, though, that many of these listeners probably know and cherish music videos as well, because I bet they're probably of the age group like us.
They switched off already by the time they saw the title.
Oh, yeah. Well, they might be off listening to your boy band album from last week. Menudo, or whatever you said.
Menudo.
Yeah, Sweet Baby Ray's Hot Mustard, or whatever it was.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest. I probably have a lot of honorable mentions.
I have a list of honorable mentions that are twice as long because there's so many good music videos, so many videos that I remember that are just indelible in my. I mean, they're just like I cannot. This was an easy list because when you grew up in the time that we did, there's just things that you remember that you will never forget that just mean a lot to you.
Yes. The one thing, for the most part, that I had to... Well, no, I didn't. I lie on that. Okay, so never mind before I say anything.
Already lying over here, man.
No, I was going to lie, but I didn't. So I did not cut that out, I found out, because one of these is kind of related to that.
I thought you were a tiger, but you're just a lion.
There is a lot of great music videos. You were right last week, one crossover. Are you staying with one? Are you going up to 2? Are you moving to 0?
This one's going to be tougher for me.
This is really tough.
Because there's so many to choose from out there. And I know that, we have a lot of similar likes. But I also know that we both can go off into some pretty obscure tangents.
Yes.
Who picked first last week?
You did.
Well, how about you pick first this week, to be fair?
Okay, I'm going to do 1. So now you have the option to go 0 or 2.
See, I was going to do 1 as well.
One's the safe bet.
Because I'm pretty sure.
I'm picking 1. I'm letting it ride.
But kind of like you said last week, like if I pick 0, then I'm just, I'm screwing myself. So let's go 2.
You're playing hearts. You're shooting for the moon.
Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, and that ain't going to happen.
You're not going to shoot the moon. Okay, here we go.
So we're going 2.
All right,
for sure.
Do it.
For sure.
Okay, so I'll go first again. I don't mind.
I like it. All
right, I'll go first again. So here's the deal. There's a ton of honorable mention. There's a ton of funny ones.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There's a ton of memorable ones.
Yes.
There's a ton of them.
Creative.
But when being honest with myself, and I watched it again, and I just watched a few seconds, I went, yeah, this is going to make my top 5. And if anyone wants to know why, You Went and Saved the Best for Last by Vanessa Williams is on my top 5. Just watch Vanessa Williams.
Yes.
Because as a teenager, I don't even know I didn't care what she's singing. She could sing in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in that video.
Colors of the Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my goodness. Very rarely does someone shine. But I mean, it's a heartwarming song, but I just...
So what is it about the video?
She's hot. But here's the thing. I picked it because I was like, you know what? This was one of my favorite videos because I could just stare at it forever. But it made me listen to her music and stop and listen to music that was not my type of music. Mm-hmm. A music video can make me listen to something and say, hey, listen to... And I did listen to the music after the 3rd or 15th watch. But...
Well, this is one of these things that makes you a special person, Matt.
It made me think about it because, this one made me appreciate a different... And I think this is how I got into some slow music because I was younger, anything fast-paced. If it was slow-paced, I changed the radio station. I didn't even give it a shot. Slow meant sappy. And I believe if this was the song that got me to say, hey, some slow down stuff is pretty good. Now, kind of a lie, because Every Rose Has Its Thorn was before this. I did like that, but I forgave it because they were a rock band, and so I let them have their one slow song.
They gotta have some ballads, but see, we don't call those slow songs. We call them ballads.
We call them ballads.
Yes.
Yeah, we call them ballads. But to listen to a slow song and start appreciating it, I think this was the first one. Now, yes, it was her looks that got me enticed to it, but eventually it was like, no, I think I opened my eyes and said, hey, I need to get some of these slower songs. And I noticed it because in my old mixtapes, I would start adding slow songs here and there.
Some of them slow jams.
Slow jams toward the end, and something I would not have done, I don't think.
I like that you're admitting to the public here that not only do you look at beautiful women, but you're also a male that will listen to beautiful women.
I did.
And I think that's important in life.
Yes.
Listeners.
Yes.
Listen to your old buddy Matt over here.
Yeah,
Words of wisdom.
Listen to me.
Deep Thoughts
and
by
watch
Jack
Vanessa Williams.
Handy.
But no, I believe that's because I was talking to my brother about it, and he joked. He went, "Oh, that's my top 5, definitely. You just said Vanessa Williams. That's out there." And he started naming some other stuff. We started laughing, and I said, "But you know what? I really think that it's funny that we started really loving that song when it came on the radio. We'd sing it too, and it's like that was so unlike me at that time because it was." If it wasn't Guns N' Roses or something like that, boom, 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 burn it through, I was really turning and I think that made me kind of keep the knob steady to see, some of these songs, soft and slow, can be nice. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So, yeah. That's why I put it up. And there's a ton of good music videos that missed because of this, but the significance of it added it to number 5.
You had to.
All right, so go for it.
My number 5 is, by a lot of accounts, the greatest music video of all time. Many people believe this is the best music video of all time. I do agree that it is one of the best, but since this is a subjective list, there's 4 more that I like better. But this song and this video in particular is widely regarded as one of the most original and best. So I had to have it on the list. I couldn't make a list without it because everything else just would have felt worse. And that is Take On Me by Aha.
That was my top of my list of honorable mentions.
It's just a special video. It's almost cliche now because
it tells a story that's so unique.
It does. And there's never been another video like it.
There's never been anything
like they broke the mold with that. Nobody even wanted to try.
The song without the video is great.
It's fine. It's great. Yeah, it's a great 80s song.
But you just remember that video, and it just makes you think of it told a story that made you think of a world or think of a storyline. It's almost like that is an 80s movie wrapped in a music video.
Yeah. Super imaginative at that time. It's the type of movies we watch.
Mentions now, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Getting wrapped up in a comic book, and I liked comic books at the time. So I loved it then. I love it now. If you look up any list of top music videos of all time, it's going to be always near the top. Original, through and through, and I did see one kind of parody of it that I can remember, and that is in the movie Nightmare on Elm Street 6, Freddy's Dead. Whenever there was I think it was either no, it wasn't the deaf guy because he did something different to him, but I think it was the guy that liked comic books. He brought him into his comic book world and killed him in that way. So it was very, very similar. Now, before we move forward, one of our favorite bands of all time, Weezer, they just redid that song a couple of years ago, and they redid that video with the guy from Stranger Things, and it was good.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't really like a lot of new Weezer stuff, but I was proud they did that song justice, and the video was good.
I'm speaking out of turn, but Weezer is an honorable mention on here. Did not make. Their music's phenomenal, but when it comes to music videos, there were just better ones. Not to dog on them because it's a rough draft, but yeah.
So what was your number 4?
Okay, and one I'm going to need help with an honorable mention because I'm thinking about just now, and I'm hoping I got the right one. All right, so here's the one. Here we go again. Yes, my eyes deceived me, but Paula Abdul was quite the lady. She did a lot of fun fun music videos, and they just made you happy.
I hope the one that you say is the one that I'm thinking of right now.
Because she's hot. Well, which one? Are we thinking Waterfalls?
No.
Are we thinking Promise of a New Day?
No.
That's what I'm thinking. But 2 steps forward and 2 steps
opposites
back.
attract.
Opposites track.
Yeah. That's
was
the fun
almost
one.
on there. Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. But her music was fun and upbeat. She looked like she was truly having a good time.
So which one did you pick?
I went with Promise of a New Day.
You sure you didn't go with Cold Hearted Snake? Because that was one sexy video, man. Yes.
Cold-hearted snake.
She's a cold-hearted snake. Look into his eyes. Or he is, yeah. He's been telling lies. And they're in that dance studio and just very sultry. Ooh. If you like Vanessa Williams, that's spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's spicy.
Promise of a New Day is just fun. Dancing in a waterfall. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, I'm loving this.
Yes.
And, you know, but the thing is, though, it's happy, it's bouncy, it's just so much fun.
Opposites attract, man. What was that cat's name?
Attract,
MC Scat Cat. MC Scat Cat.
Okay. That was the one that was on here.
Yeah.
And then I decided, because I watched a few of hers, I went, no, I just promised it a New Day. But didn't she do Blowing Kisses in the Wind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that too. Mm-hmm. But I like the song maybe more than the music video. But I don't know. But she was just so happy, and I don't know.
It was a time whenever like she was respected. I think whenever American Idol came out, she just people kind of turned sour on her because she seemed like such an idiot and she seemed like such a moron. Yeah. And I'm not saying she is or isn't. Well, I'm just saying like back then she got to dance and sing.
Treat her as ditzy and everything.
Exactly.
Back then she just seemed like just a fun person to hang out with.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot of great albums from her. I mean, a lot of great music videos, but
100% agree.
All right. What is number 4?
Number 4 for me, I love this group so much. They're so influential, and they have many, many good music videos. There's a wonderful documentary out there that if you've never seen it, you should watch it, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the music video I chose for them is one of the most iconic of all time, and that's Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. The video is whenever it was directed by Spike Jones, and they're the detectives. They're like the 70s detectives.
Yeah.
And so that's
flying over the car.
And that was an early 90s kind of thing, and it was really kind of the first time you really saw Spike Jones and like his creative genius. And so with their music and that song and that video really brought them back to the forefront. And I think it's just called The Beastie Boys Story, and it's a wonderful documentary because it's the 2 surviving members. They just get on stage in front of an audience and they tell their story, and it's really heartwarming, it's heartbreaking, it's sincere. The fact that these people were friends, they never stopped being friends for like 35 years. They chose themselves over the music industry, which is the reason why they started off being very commercial and hit makers, and then they really started kind of going off into independent stuff. It's because they turned away a lot of music producers. They turned away a lot of money because they wanted to make their music. And so they just, for the rest of their careers, made their music, and it was an incredible story. And this was one of those the songs that kind of put them back. The video and the song put them kind of back into the limelight after a couple of years of not being there. But I love that video. It's fun. It's interesting. I love 70s movies, so they just knocked that style out of the park.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. You don't have any more Beastie Boys on here, right?
I do not.
Intergalactic Planetary was a fun music video.
It's so good.
I just now thought about that.
Yeah.
I did not think of any Beastie Boys, but you were correct on Sabotage. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a solid one. Number 3. This is the cheat, I said. I tried to avoid music videos based off movies that show movie clips. I have a ton of honorable mentions of those types. I tried to leave them off. I thought I left them all off. This one I couldn't. I just couldn't because it was just so good, because it had the band playing with clips from Terminator 2. You Could Be Mine.
Oh my gosh, that song
Guns N' Roses
kicks so much ass.
It does.
It does. It kicked.
If you want to be the coolest kid in school, You play You Could Be Mine.
Oh my gosh.
And try to drive the speed limit. I'm just
oh my
begging
gosh.
you.
The beginning of that, whenever it shows the clips of him picking up the dude, the redheaded dude from Salute Your Shorts, and they get on the bike and they go down the culvert, all of that.
But remember, Arnold is in the video where he analyzes the band leaving backstage, and they kept looking at him. I mean, there's because they're dancing on the thing, and it's cut into action sequences from Terminator 2, and just bam, 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 and then Axel just twirling with the mic stand, and it just hits, and then they show the iconic scene, the gun in the roses, guns in roses, and him stepping on the roses, and for some reason it was like Terminator 2 will be forever married to Guns N' Roses. Good. It gets because
it's like my favorite rock band of all time, and it's like the best action movie of all time.
And if anyone here has anything, you can speak your piece, or it was so good. It was so, because it's a great movie. It was my favorite band at the time, and it was just the perfect blend of music and movie. I really tried to avoid that because I almost think it's cheating, because you like a movie, you want the music, but I could not take this off the list.
Imagine if like Vanessa Williams played Sarah Connor.
Number one. Number one.
I mean, hello.
Hello. Have you seen her today? Still.
Yeah, I mean.
Still, all day.
Yeah, she's classic beauty.
She is classy. She is a classy gal.
She's always been classy. She's never not been classy.
She always has.
Miss America, man.
I didn't know that at first. I found that out way later on. I was like, well, yeah, Miss America now.
Like when it meant something. Like whenever, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when it was a prestigious thing.
When
and
it wasn't just we're going to give it away to this state because we feel bad for it today.
Right. Or that, before everything became woke and, what are you doing? Like judging girls on like what they look like in a bikini. No, girls wanted to win this. It wasn't,
But she had beauty and brains.
Yes, she did. And a voice.
Yes.
My number 3 is what I felt like would be a crossover, but you've already said that it won't be. So this wasn't the one thought.
What was that?
Buddy Holly. I mean, that's such a great video to me, and that's Spike Jonze as well. Just
it is
splicing in the Happy Days and getting Fonzie in there.
Yes.
Like it's just so memorable for me. One of my favorite bands and albums. So like, there's no way I couldn't put that on there.
No. I understand. And I did want to put Weezer on here. I did want to put Weezer on here. I'll give you the one. There's a few, but one of their last ones, Beginning of the End.
I don't know that one. I don't think I've seen the video.
Where they try out for the Wild Stallions.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've never seen that.
And Keanu Reeves and whatever show up at the end and go, "You're hired. You're going to open up for it," because they appear in character. And Rivers goes, "Yes!" Like he just got the thing, and it's a little bit of humor, but also that they're trying out to be the starting band for the opening act for the Wild Stallions, and they were like all nervous and excited to play Beginning of the End. I don't know. I love a lot of their music videos. Like I don't remember. It's the Mr. Rogers one.
Well, there's one with the Muppets.
Muppets was
a great video.
That's from the Maladroit album.
Yeah, I love that video.
I don't
remember the song. Though.
My days turned away, turned apart from me, in love with someone else. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I can't remember. Oh yeah.
Buddy Holly. Yeah, Buddy Holly's good.
Yeah, I like this video a lot, and it's iconic to me, which is the reason why it's on this list. But I will say that there are probably quite a few of my honorable mentions that I think are better videos than that. But just kind of for me in my life, like I couldn't make a list without that on there.
No, I understand. Okay, so we're sweating a little bit because you got to go for 2 here.
Not going to happen. And I am a little scared.
I'm not too scared because I got one in the chamber.
I thought Buddy Holly was the one.
I got one in the chamber here. If this one will not be it. But I got another one in the chamber after this. I think we'll make it. Okay. Oh my. Now that I'm looking at these. No question. Okay. So my number 2, MJ, who did a ton. There's some honorable mentions.
He's got the best music videos of all time. Yes. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
He's got a lot of good ones.
Especially if you watch the extended versions of them. Go on YouTube and watch extended versions. They're all 8, 9, 12-minute long stories.
And this one, the extended version is he dances on top of a car and screams until the windows blow out. Starring his buddy at the time, Macaulay Culkin, Black and White, which I cannot tell you. That may be the most watched music video of all time for me. It didn't make number one, but it made number two. It is such, and that was the first time we saw that computer,
at the ending when they changed the faces.
We hadn't seen that. Of course, it was Michael Jackson,
groundbreaking,
state-of-the-art stuff.
That was over 30 years ago.
Yeah, that we hadn't seen before. And everyone was like, whoa, did you see that? So I remember my mom sat and watched it and was like, wow. And whenever the song would come on, she'd come in at the end to watch that scene again. Mm-hmm. And then they'd play the full version every once in a while. MTV did, and that was the one where he danced onto the car. It was the quiet moment, and and the cars shot out the windows. Yeah,
a lot of his longer ones were very controversial. They he would put things in them, and people didn't like it. I remember the one, The Way You Make Me Feel, where he turns into the Jaguar and the cat, and beats up the car on that one as well.
That's a good one. Oh wait, isn't The Way You Make Me Feel? Then maybe I'm getting them mixed up.
Oh, and that one in black and white, it starts off with George Wendt and Macaulay Culkin, so they go through that whole scene, and then whenever he starts singing, they pull in the Indians, and it's like the Wild West, and he's on top of the Winnebagos singing with them. And
I don't want to ask if you have any Michael Jackson on there, but I do have a lot of other ones I want to talk about in honorable mentions. So
I could just go to my number two.
No, what is number two then?
It is my favorite Michael Jackson video of all time. So obviously we just mentioned, and I just said and admitted that he's got my favorite videos of all time.
Yes.
This is my favorite. I can't say that it's the best because obviously this is a subjective list, but to me, this was always the coolest MRFing video in the world, and still to this day, it's still the coolest, or maybe the smoothest video I've ever seen. Smooth Criminal beats Thriller to me by a long shot because it's so neat and classy, and the bar scene, and it's got the iconic lean. The lean. So good. Everybody remembers the lean. So good. And he had the white suit on, and everybody
the dance scene.
The dance scene.
And the choreography in that is
so
show-stopping.
It's so precise.
Show-stopping. It's quick and precise and flawless. This is back before you could CGI and get someone to copy your movements.
If you know anything about him and his work ethic, all of his videos were like that because he was a perfectionist. Yes. And he wasn't like a tyrant or anything. You've never really heard adults say anything bad about him. It's just did he rape kids?
None of that was freestyle.
Right. No. Oh my gosh, no. It was practiced ad nauseum.
It is in the Olympics of dance. That is the perfect 10.
No, it is that. Just that dance sequence, everything about it. And when you watch the extended version now, so this video and the extended version of all of that comes from his movie that he made in 87 or 88 called Moonwalker. Mm-hmm. And so that sequence is towards the end of it because Joe Pesci is the bad guy in this movie, and it's very peculiar all over the place, but they end up in that bar, and then all of Joe Pesci's minions come to get him, and so that's kind of where the regular music video you see all of them marching outside or whatnot, but the longer video is just more of telling that story, more of them getting into a fight and the fight sequences and everything, and the way that it was always my favorite song by him. It's gone down to number 3 now. I've had 2 other songs that go above that. But as far as music videos, priceless.
Okay, so I'll talk about some other just honorable mentions before I get to my number 1 here for Michael Jackson. Jam.
It's got Michael Jordan in it. It's got
my favorite basketball player of all time.
The 2 MJs in a video together.
It's great.
Oh.
It's great. I really love it. Billie Jean. Is that the light up sidewalk?
Yes, that's iconic. It could be number 1 on this list.
Whenever I see a sidewalk, I pray that someone will invent one that just lights up whenever I touch it because that's so iconic.
That video was important to music videos in general because it came out in '83, and even though it was simplistic, it just kind of showed this imagination.
Beat It. The knife choreography is just fun. It should be goofy and silly, but it's not. I can't explain it.
It's West Side Story.
Yes. It's Broadway quality. Mm-hmm. It's so good, and he's dancing with all the. They're all jumping, jogging down the garage, and then they stop and do a move, real crisp, real clean, all together. And then of course my number 1, Thriller.
Is that, yeah? So you went 1-2 MJ? I love it.
I did 1-2 MJ here. You know,
what can you say about? I mean, like,
I wanted to go full MJ, but you never go full MJ on a top 5.
Unless Vanessa Williams is around.
Unless she's in the video. But Thriller to me it's a movie. It was awe-inspiring as a kid because it had bar none at the time cinematography that was on par with every other movie out there. This music video was. It had a huge ensemble that danced in perfect sync, and it's just so impressive, and it's so vivid and imagination. We've got Vincent Price, the man. It just hits on all levels. It made music videos what they eventually became. It pioneered it. After a music video was a singing in front of a camera before Thriller came out, and they went, oh, we can do more. It raised the bar.
Directed by John Landis.
Yes, that's right. So no expenses spared on this one, and it broke the mold of what music videos could be.
It's the quintessential music video.
And that was, we both lost today. I'm Admiral lost because I thought Thriller.
Yeah.
That was my ace in the hole.
Yeah. Well, and one would think that, but like that's just personal preference because that Smooth Criminal is just.
Smooth Criminal is great. Was one of my. There's several of my honorable mentions there, but yeah, wow. Good stuff.
What was I going? Oh, and we also know someone personally that claims that they were in that video.
Who?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. He was also in a video with Magic Johnson too. Remember the Time.
Remember the Time. Yeah.
Wow. 2 basketball greats.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So,
my number one.
My
favorite music video of all time.
I can't wait.
It always has been. It always will be. I can tell you right now that it'll never get beat. I will never see a music video that will beat this ever.
Whoa.
Land of Confusion by Genesis.
I don't recall that music video.
Do you remember? Okay, so Genesis was a British band. Had Phil Collins in it. At one time had Peter Gabriel in it. This is the video with all of the creepy puppets. Do you remember the creepy puppet video?
I do not remember
of Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan, where Ronald Reagan is like dressed up as Superman, and and it was so
if I saw it, maybe I'd remember it.
I'll show it to you whenever we get done here.
I Can't Dance is one that I kind of remember because they do a goofy dance all together.
Right. This video, well, the song in and of itself is a very political song, and it's all about, the lyrics are like, this is the world we live in, these are the times, yada, 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 and it's about, like, the powers that be, the governments, making all the decisions, and people going to war all the time. This was made in the mid-'80s when, a lot of other nations didn't like Ronald Reagan.
Raise a fist of resistance.
Right, and they were, and so in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a puppet show, a puppet television show in England called Spitting Image. And it was these very creepy, lifelike, weird puppets. And it was a satire type show. So they used these puppets, and these puppets, this video had all these puppets of real famous people in them doing strange things, and it was just creepy. So the song was very apropos to the time. The video...
this is your number one.
I'm going to show it to you, and you're going to be astonished. I promise you. Anybody that's listening, go and watch this video, and then watch it again and again so you can catch all the little things about it. And you'll never forget it because it's half genius and half just wicked. And it'll always be number one.
Wow. Now, and just like that.
And
by the way, I was clapping not for the pick. I swatted a fly. I got 7 with 1 blow. But anyway, 7 with 1 blow. I want to go through a few of my honorable mentions here.
Yes.
The most recent one. I don't remember the name of the song, but Tom Hanks, Really, Really Like You. I really, 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 really like you. But it's where Tom Hanks is pantomiming the words.
I've never seen
and
that.
And basically lip syncing for the actual singer. How this happened is that the agent was having a drink with Tom Hanks and a few other people, and they mentioned that she'd really like to have you in her music video. A little lit, he said, sure, I'll do it. And then they woke up and the agent goes, "Did you agree to be in a music video?" He went, "I don't remember. What is it?" He went, "Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do it." Because she was so excited because she couldn't wait to, have Tom Hanks. But it's hilarious because he's singing a really girly song and he's just singing the words. And I think the singer has an appearance in the end. Somewhere in the middle, she has a cameo, and then at the end, she comes in to sing with him at the end. But he's basically just him. And yeah, if Tom Hanks agrees to be in your music video, you make him the focus.
Yeah, you do it.
That's the newest one. Other ones, okay, obviously these are music videos tied to movies. Bryan Adams was the king of this. I Do It For You.
Oh, man.
From Robin
the Robin Hood, great.
Great. All for One with Rod Stewart and Sting.
Yes.
All of them singing together. And now it's and they're all around that mic, and the camera's like circling around them, and it's just because you got some of the three best singers at the time together, and it was like that was the Avengers of music back then. Crying from Aerosmith is great. That was the Alicia Silverstone, Liv Tyler, where they did lots of stuff like that. Come With Me, P. Diddy, Godzilla. Where he faces down Godzilla.
I forgot about
at the end. It's just so good. Godzilla attacks his building at the beginning. It breaks him, and he kind of falls out through the window. And that's boom, boom, boom. And it's just I still watch that one to this day. And then another very unique one, Black Hole Sun.
Oh,
do you remember it showed everything in reverse, which hadn't been done before?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the jar had a bullet shot through it, but now it was going backwards, and the jar was repairing itself. So you're like, what? And that's all it was, but it just was memorable. So go ahead. What's yours?
Oh, I've got a lot, but I'm going to go through them, rather rapidly here. Although, we could talk hours and hours for these. Let's see. Billie Jean and Thriller are on here as well, but we've talked about all that. So there's two Cyndi Lauper videos. I love Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and I love the video to the Good Enough, the Goonies song, because it had all the WWF wrestlers at the time.
That was the one. I could not remember the name of that song.
Good Enough is the name of it.
I couldn't remember. Because she was friends with Lou Albano back then.
Right.
And I guess she had
no, she was part of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. Like, she was part of WrestleMania 1.
Yes.
Like, Vince McMahon brought her in because he had that brilliant idea of understanding. Yeah.
MTV and wrestling.
So that video it's from the Goonies, but the video is actually her like going down into the sewers and being like a Goonie herself. But it had Nikolai Volkov, it had the Iron Sheik, it had I don't think Hogan was in it. But yeah, so I love those videos.
I couldn't remember the name of that video, but I know now I know the video you're talking about. I just couldn't remember the name.
I love I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That by Meatloaf, because it's just this big huge epic video. He's singing like in that church, and then like the ladies in there, and like the car crashes and different things like that. There's a dozen like what's the name of that stupid band? Radiohead videos that I love. Fake Plastic Trees is such an amazing video. Paranoid Android is interesting and good. Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. We all remember that from growing up.
Sledgehammer.
It was such a weird, peculiar video. It had his face and then like trains and moons.
There's something about Simply Irresistible that I liked. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Oh yes. Oh man, the Robert Palmer videos were just so good. Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads is such an interesting video. David Byrne, it was very simple. It was early video. I love, if I'm looking at Weird Al Yankovic videos, Fat
I was going to say,
so happy.
I wanted to put some Weird Al in here, but I have seen from because his movie, the episode 1,
right?
Soundtrack. Music video. There's a lot of good Weird Al music videos.
Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. I've always loved that video because it's just her face. That's it. It's
I don't remember that.
It's that very simplistic, just her face. Speaking of Spike Jonze, I love the Praise You video by Fatboy Slim, where they're they're in the mall and
I totally forgot about that.
He does like the whatever you call those things, the little pop-up dancing things.
I should. Wow.
I love the OK Go song, Here It Goes Again, where they're on the treadmills, where they choreograph like going back and forth on those little treadmills.
I don't know if I've seen that.
That's a great little video. I love the video Freak on a Leash by Korn. The one where the bullet goes like through all the different
that was good.
Comic book things or whatever, and then it backs up.
That reverse
and it reverses
cinematography.
and then the last one, which is the newest one, this was 2018. I love the video "This Is America" by Childish Gambino,
Oh, wow.
which is Donald
you have
Glover.
some unique ones. Okay.
Yeah, that's like his persona, his rap persona, Childish Gambino, and it's a very different, interesting kind of video. So yeah, and I could go on and on and on because there's that Fatboy Slim though.
That's a good one. I'd forgotten about that one.
That video, wonderful.
Yeah. But, all right. Hey, folks, again, you've got to let us know in the comments. Because I know we missed some music videos. I'm sure we did.
100 of them.
There's so many good ones out there that I was always afraid. I tried to study up for this, but I just could not think. I could think of good songs. That doesn't mean, and it's interesting how a good song does not equal a good music video.
No, it doesn't.
I noticed that. I was like, oh, I love this song. Oh, the music video is not the best. I mean, it's fine, but it's not the best.
Unless you're talking about the Kenny Loggins song "Playing with the Boys" from the Top Gun soundtrack, because it's a great song.
Playing with
and
the
it's shirtless
boys.
dudes playing volleyball
Well, who wouldn't like that?
on the beach
On Saturday,
morning.
Samoflange.